Hello, football lovers. Welcome to One for Sports, right here, your favorite channel where we tell you all there is in the world of sports. And today we're going to be taking a look at some of the games that will be going down this weekend, especially in the Premier League and the other leagues or across the globe. But before we do that, let me also let you know quickly that Chelsea and Arsenal happens to be the two English teams that will face off against each other this weekend, more like the biggest game in the Premier League this weekend. And coincidentally, they happen to be the only two English teams to have had a successful outing in the Champions League at the midweek. And yes, I am yours truly, Chikeze Queen Choma, your sports goddess, your sports queen, or queen of the airways. And I'm set to take you through all there is to go down this weekend in football. Come along with me. All right, we're starting off with what is going to be more like our main focus for the discuss today, and that is the game between Chelsea and Arsenal. It's a London derby where Chelsea will host Arsenal at the Stamford Bridge. But what happens going down to this encounter? Over the course of the season so far, we've seen a shaky Chelsea, not too stable, but then they've got some fantastic outing. We saw them defeat Liverpool, and then we also saw them just at the midweek defeating Barcelona with 3 goals to nothing. While Arsenal, on the other hand, they went ahead for the first time in a very long while. They went ahead to defeat their nemesis in Bayern Munich. Actually, handing Bayern Munich their first loss of the season so far. Bayern Munich prior to that encounter have gone about 16 games without losing any across all competition. Arsenal ensured that run came to an end by defeating them 3 goals to 1. It ended in that encounter with Noni Madueke scoring his first goal in the Champions League for Arsenal. Don't forget, Noni Madueke happens to be a former Chelsea player. Will he replicate that feat against Chelsea at the weekend? Well, we'll wait to see. There are also other players who actually will be facing off against each other, especially the battle in the midfield. Looking at Declan Rice of Arsenal as against Moses Caicedo of Chelsea. These are more like the two best midfielders currently in the Premier League, and they've had fantastic outing. For Declan Rice, he's had about 5 goal contributions so far this season, while Moses Caicedo has had 4 goal contribution. So we hope to see these two teams clash off against each other. Then another worry will be for onslaught of Liverpool. Looking at how Liverpool have gone so far this season in all competition, for the very first time, they've lost 3 games in a row at the Anfield. I mean, just a few days ago, we had former Liverpool player Jimmy Carragher talking about how Anslot has just 1 week, to turn things around. And also, there was a meeting with Anslot prior to the encounter in the Champions League against PSV that they were giving him, and they gave him between then and January to turn things around. But after that loss at PSV, he was called upon for an immediate meeting with the board of the side, and then I think the clock is ticking so fast for Anslot. Do you think he will turn things around? But my major question for you would be, is it down to Anslot? I mean, this is the same manager that won the Premier League in his first season in the Premiership. Is it about the coach, or is it that the players are not living up to expectation, or the team is worn out? What do you think could be the problem of Liverpool, looking at how they have performed so far this season? And then moving on to Manchester City. Also, they lost now back to back. They lost in the Premier League at the weekend, and then they lost again in the Champions League. And they will be facing off a Leeds United side. But looking at how Pep Guardiola has managed this side so far and the record he has had. Don't forget, I also told you that before that Champions League game, it was the first time Pep was losing 4 games in a row in his career. Now, add the Champions League loss to it, that's 5 games in a row. It hasn't happened to this man ever in his career, but now he has done that. Will it be that we'll see a repeat of what happened at his time in Bayern Munich, where he has to go on a sabbatical before coming back to take another managerial role which landed him the Manchester City role, or you think he will continue? Also adding to that, before Christmas, it is reported that they will be knowing their fate as concern their case with the Premier League. Yeah, you remember the case they are having currently with Premier League. So the verdict of that case will be known before Christmas. Do you think all of this put together is weighing the club down, or you think Pep has run out of idea? Premier League managers and players have found them out, or what exactly? Or maybe the inconsistency of Rodri have actually contributed to what we are seeing Manchester City go through currently. Let us know on the comment section. Another thing will be Manchester United. With what they've gone so far under Ruben Amorim is just unbearable. I feel for Manchester United fans, he's had a worse record. He's had more losses than Jose Mourinho had in Manchester United in all of his career. He has the worst win rate among all Manchester United manager right from the time of Sir Alex Ferguson up until now. And then, do you think that the angle of the new club owner, more like the person in charge now for Manchester United, talking about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, giving him 3 years to turn things around at Manchester United, do you think that is viable, or you think he should just be let out correct immediately and then bring in someone new? And again, are the players letting him down? Because I don't understand why Manchester United cannot defeat a 10-man Everton with all the players that they had on the pitch on the day. So let us know what you think. Do you think this is another angle whereby he will have to, he's going away from home? Yeah. Do you think to Crystal Palace? Yes. To a resort. Oh my God. This is going to be a very big test for Ruben Amorim and his guy. Guys, what do you think will become of that game this weekend? So before I continue, let me read out for you some of the games that will be played this weekend in the Premier League. First game for the week will be tomorrow, Saturday, the 29th day of November 2025. And the kickoff will start off between Brentford and Burnley. That game will be at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Man City will take on Leeds United, same time Sunderland versus Bournemouth. Everton will take on Newcastle United at 5:30 p.m. Spurs will take on Fulham at 8 p.m. tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we'll have the first game will be a 12 p.m. kickoff, and that will be Crystal Palace taking on Manchester United, and Aston Villa will take on Wolves at 4:05 p.m. For Aston Villa, they are joint top leaders in the Europa League, and they are in the top four in the Premier League. Yes, let's see how it goes for them this weekend. They'll have Nottingham Forest take on Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, for Nottingham Forest, Sean Dyche, their new manager, has managed 7 games with this side. He's won 4 out of those 7. He has drawn 2. He has lost just 1 game since joining Nottingham Forest. So that's another test. The Brighton and Hove Albion game will be another test for Sean Dyche. Let's see how he manages with the side. And then we'll have West Ham versus Liverpool. And then the biggest game of the weekend, of course, like we talked about, it will be Chelsea taking on Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, the London Derby. Who will come out on top? Let us know on the comment section. Arsenal, first in the Champions League. First, that's in the Champions League table now. First in the Premier League table. And then they are in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Is it that season for Arsenal? Are you seeing Arsenal do a treble or a double this season under Mikel Arteta? And it's safe to say that we've had a very resurgent Arsenal. Now, someone said something that actually caught my attention for Arsenal. And for me, it's funny, it could be silly, but I think it's true. Yeah? Because this is that season where I have seen a lot of Arsenal fans coming out so boldly about their faith and belief in Christ. Yeah. And someone is saying that Arsenal's problem all this while has always been a spiritual problem. And what should I say inspired or brought about that talk was the fact that the man Noni Madueke, after scoring this goal against Bayern at the Champions League, when he was being interviewed, he made a statement. He said, I first of all, I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And it's not the first time we had the likes of during Timberby called Pastor during and all of those. So the man is saying Arsenal are having a lot of pastors these days because I mean they better chase it before he scored his hat trick at the North London Derby. He also made a post about his faith and all of those. And I'm asking you, do you agree with the Arsenal fan that says Arsenal problem has always been spiritual? And do you think that because the players are now proclaiming Christ so loudly that it could just be the turnaround and the reason for the maximum success that they are recording? Remember that they are the only side in the Champions League that have won all 5 games. They are the only unbeaten side currently in the Champions League with 15 points. Yes. Second is PSG with 12 points, and that's massive for the side. So let us know on the comment section. And then in the La Liga, we'll have quite a number of games to go. That Girona will be taking on Real Madrid. And Real Madrid have not really been themselves in the league in the past 2 games. They've kind of struggled a bit. Will they, bounce back into winning ways again? Well, we wait to see. Nothing too much, in the Bundesliga also, except for the only big game would be maybe the Leverkusen taking on Dortmund. Yeah, that would be more like the most pronounced game, as we know. Bayern Munich, who else will just be facing a smaller team in the Bundesliga, who definitely will not be a problem for the side. But before we go, let's also look at some quite interesting things that happened during this time, this period, this week, especially. The Portuguese on the 17 national team actually won the Qatar 2025 on the 17 World Cup. Another thing is also that the FIFA are set to face court issues. Yes. You remember recently the ban on Cristiano Ronaldo was lifted for what FIFA called probationary period, like he's going through a probation, 1 year probation. The reason FIFA lifted the ban on him, or suspended, sorry, not lifting, they suspended the ban on Cristiano Ronaldo, suspended the suspension. He was meant to miss the first 2 World Cup games for Portugal. But then, after missing the game against Armenia, FIFA decided to suspend this ban because, in their word, they said he's been of good conduct. He has not had any red card in the national jersey in 226 games, meaning it took Cristiano Ronaldo 226 games to get his first red card for Portugal. And for that reason, FIFA are saying he's been of good conduct all this while. So after serving the first match ban, they had to suspend the remaining one, allowing him to stay on probation for 1 year, meaning he will play the first opening games of the World Cup if he's available, barring injuries and other things. And then if he commits another offense that is maybe equivalent to that one, then they will revoke the ban. But that didn't go down well with some of the teams that we are in, or that are supposedly to be in the same group with Portugal. They are attempting to sue FIFA to to say to see if they can reinstate the ban on Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, what do you think? Was FIFA being biased in suspending the ban, or you think the other teams now are just making a mountain out of a molehill, especially because Cristiano Ronaldo is not the only player to have enjoyed such preference from FIFA. And before we go, let me also let you know that Kylian Mbappe has joined Cristiano Ronaldo as the only 2 Real Madrid players to ever score 4 goals in one Champions League match. And also, Kylian Mbappe has been voted Champions League Player of the Week. And also, PSG have become the club with the highest number of Champions League wins in a calendar year. They've won 13 Champions League games this year, whereas the record was held by Bayern Munich and Real Madrid in 2021 and 2014 respectively, where they won 12 Champions League matches in a calendar year each. And that's all we have for you for now. Until I come your way again, please subscribe to this channel, like and comment on it. Share with your friends also for more exciting sporting content as this. I remain yours truly, Chikete Choma, signing out.